Boltzmann was born on February 20th, 1844 in Vienna. He grew up middle class. His father was a tax official and his mother was the daughter of a merchant. His family later moved to Linz, where he went to high school and discovered his interest in math and science. In his spare time, he played piano, which he continued to do for his entire life. However, his childhood was cut short with the death of his father when he was just 15. Boltzmann began his academic career during a peaceful time in Austria's history. In 1863, at 19, he enrolled as a physics and mathematics student at the University of Vienna, achieving his PhD only 3 years later at the age of 22. A year later, he was made a lecturer at the Physics Institute, which was only founded 14 years earlier by Christian Doppler. In 1869, he moved to Graz, where he became a professor of mathematics at the University of Graz, which was one of the greatest schools in Europe at the time. He married in 1876 to Harriet von Eiglinter, who was one of the very few women to be allowed to study at a university in Austria. Together they had 3 daughters and 2 sons. Boltzmann's main focus was on the second law of thermodynamics, yet more specifically the properties of gas and how the state of matter interacts with the physical world. The second law of thermodynamics concerns energy, where it can never increase in an isolated system. This means that as long as matter exists by itself without any outside influence, energy is conserved and never increases or decreases. The problem that Boltzmann sought to solve was time. As time goes on, entropy increases, yet it never decreases. By studying how gas particles move, he created the formula S equals K log of W, which can measure entropy. Boltzmann's work was later used to prove the existence of atoms. Boltzmann dealt with emotional and mental stress throughout his life, starting with the death of his father. His mother and eldest son both died within a 3-year time frame, and combined with the immense responsibility of his position at Graz, wore on his physical health. Not only this, but towards the end of his life, the scientific community in the United States and Europe was divided. Based on the findings of chemists, some believed the existence of small particles that make up all matter, while others believed that this idea was false. Since Boltzmann's work required that atoms existed, many of his colleagues denounced his life's work. He felt as though he had wasted his whole life, and this combined with intense headaches and asthma, ultimately he took his own life in 1906 at the age of just 62. Despite believing that his life's work was failure, his study into the properties of gas and entropy proved monumental in physics. He is today known as a pioneer of statistical mechanics, sharing credit with James Clerk Maxwell. Along with this, he solidified the second law of thermodynamics, proving that time is a constant, and along with entropy can move only in one direction. His entropy equation, which was later refined, is used in almost every field of science and technology today, and many scientific advancements could only exist with his work. Ultimately, his greatest achievement is contributing to the proving of the existence of atoms. Studying Boltzmann made me realize the importance of accepting all radical scientific ideas, no matter how crazy they may seem at first. He faced immense criticism and very little support of his work, despite it now being proven scientific principle. Many new scientific concepts may be weak, but they should all be accepted as a possibility. Without acceptance, new ideas could be lost to history, and the world could never change for the better.